Okay, what we're looking at here, we've got an Electromax alternator, 140 amp, with a Balmar MC614 regulator, and we're a little above idle right now with this Volvo engine, pumping out 107 amps of charge current into this bank. I drew the bank down quite a bit, certainly below 80% state of charge by a little bit, and we're also looking at the field voltage from the regulator. And what I've done is I've just tapped into it here. There's the blue field wire, and then also the field current that's going to the alternator. So this is measuring the current around the blue wire, and then the field voltage, 12.5 volts, which is just about max for this MC614 regulator. So we're in bulk mode, and the battery's charging. I'm going to kick up the engine RPM here a little bit, just so we can watch what we've got going on. I'll turn the light on so that's easier to see. Again, this is a 140 amp alternator. Battery bank was taken slightly below 80% state of charge, and we've got 4 Odyssey PC2150 100 amp hour AGM batteries. And the Electromax alternator is pumping out a steady, 138 amps of charge current. I would expect it to start limiting the batteries to start limiting acceptance here eventually, but for right now these AGMs are taking all the current that the alternator can throw at it. And this alternator is pretty hot because I'd already been running it for about a half hour. I've been setting up the regulator, load testing the alternator today before I move off of this job. And just wanted to get a look and make sure everything is operating correctly. And this is what I'll do anytime I set up a regulator. I'll go through the custom programming modes, measure the field output. I've had a couple of these where we couldn't get the field even in bulk mode much above 8. And even with it programmed correctly, and you never know what happens. Matter of fact, this regulator that I just installed, this is a replacement here for a defective one. The reed switch, the magnetic reed switch that you used to program it, was dead right out of the box, and Balmar sent me a new one ahead of time so I could just replace it, which I just did, and finish programming this one. It looks like everything is performing as it should. Battery bank still taking 133 amps of charge current. Field voltage is still about 12.8, and again, this is the field voltage. This is not the battery voltage. This is the voltage that is being sent to the field input on the alternator. In fact, I'll pull this out of here. If I place this on the positive battery bus, we can see what the bank voltage is right now, and we're coming up on 14 volts here, so the bank voltage is climbing, but we're very much still in bulk, so we can see that roughly 14 volts at the programming that I have, she's still very much full fielded, and this regulator should remain in what's considered full field or bulk until that voltage hits its absorption voltage setting, which for these batteries is 14.7. So, but again, still, even with a very, very hot alternator, we may be into a little bit of temp limiting at this point. Not quite sure. We're still pumping out over 130 amps of charge current, and 12.58 field, and 6 amps of charge current to the field of the alternator as well.